Hi, this is Leonard here for Cosmic Sound, and welcome to another review from our high-tech department. Today we're doing something that we wouldn't normally do, and we're going to be talking about a speaker. Now obviously there are some limitations to what we can show you with the speaker. We can't really play anything through it because it's going to be difficult for you to ascertain what that speaker sounds like through your own setup. So I'm just going to talk to you about it and show you some of the features and hopefully give you a good idea of what this is all about. So to the unit itself, we're looking at the Adam A77X. It's a relatively new product from Adam, and there are some really special things about this speaker, and that's why I wanted to show it to you today. So the first thing you'll notice is that it's a horizontal design, and this is going to be suited to some studios more than others. So just right off the bat, let's just say if you're actually in a very small room, this is probably not the speaker for you. You might want to look at the Adam A7X. If you're in a larger room and you've got a bit more space to set things up, then these are an awesome speaker. So just taking a look at the features of it, what you can see is there are two woofers on this speaker, and we have the Adam XArt ribbon tweeter. And they're also front ported as well, so your low-end bass will be coming out of here. So let's take a look at specifically what's on here. So the first thing you'll notice here is the tweeter, which looks a little bit different to most speakers, which will have a dome tweeter. And the reason is that this is a ribbon tweeter. It's some special technology designed by Adam, and they call it the XArt tweeter. The X stands for extended frequency response, and the ART stands for accelerating ribbon technology. So these things are made a little bit different, and it's all about surface area. So when you have a dome tweeter, basically if it's 1 inch across, then the surface area is exactly that. The way these are made is they're taken a longer section of material and it's actually folded in on itself to create a 3D shape. So essentially you have a much greater surface area over the tweeter itself. So what does all this mean? Well, essentially it's all about ear fatigue, and they have a much smoother sound, so you tend to get less ear fatigue and can mix for longer periods. So next up, let's have a look at the woofers. So it's a little bit deceptive because they look exactly the same. We've got two 7-inch woofers, and I can tell you that they each have their own amplifier of 100 watts. And so the question is, why do we have two in here? Well, it's very interesting, and what it is that one of them specifically is used for low frequencies from 38 Hertz up to 400, and one of them is full range up to 3 kilohertz, and that is of course the crossover frequency at which the tweeter kicks in. It actually is a very interesting thing, and it means that the speakers are actually sold to you in a specific pair. So the outside of each speaker is the low frequency driver, and the inside driver will take care of the full frequency range. So let's take a bit of a look now at what's on the back of the speaker. So just taking a look at the back here, it's pretty simple and self-explanatory, but I'm going to run through it anyway. So first of all, we have a connection for power. You'll notice here we have two potential input methods, one being XLR and one being RCA if you wanted to use an unbalanced connection. And we have some basic controls here on the back as well for EQing the speakers. We can create a high shelf, a low shelf, and we've also got a controller here for the tweeter level. Generally speaking, if before actually tweaking these things, you want to make sure that your room is set up properly and only use these as a last resort. The other thing you'll notice on the back of the speaker here is this label, which says speaker A, so that's going to be your left speaker, and the other one with speaker B will be your right speaker. It's very important that you actually set these up properly and make sure that speaker A is your left speaker, because as I explained earlier, you need to make sure that the bass driver is on the outside with these speakers. So just a few more points to discuss with these speakers. First of all, I just want to talk about frequency response. Now this speaker will go right down to 38 Hertz and right up to 50 kilohertz, which is amazingly high, and that's all because of this new tweeter. You might wonder why you need your frequency response to go up that high, because the human hearing range is only up to about 20 kilohertz. Well, it really comes into play if you're going to be producing at very high sample rates like 96 kilohertz or 192 kilohertz. A couple of other things to mention with these, the horizontal design. Now, as I mentioned earlier, they're not for every setup, but they're particularly useful in any situation where you need your speakers to be up quite high, especially where if you were using a vertical speaker, the tweeter would be firing way over your head. These take that into account and fix that problem pretty well. They can also be used as either near field or mid-field speakers as well. So again, if you're going to have them wall mounted and you're further back, then this is a great speaker. Especially at this price point, there's nothing really else that will compare. This is extreme quality for the money that you'll spend on them. So really these speakers are essentially very similar to an A7, the Adam A7X, but almost like having a substrap to it as well. So you're going to get that low frequency extension that you wouldn't get with the A7X, but you're also going to get that clarity, the beautiful top end, and all the power that you'd expect from the A7X. The actual AX range is quite fantastic as well. Generally it goes right from a little 3-inch speaker up to this, which is the top of the line. There's also an 8-inch model as well. And a 5. So they're a great range of speakers. There's something for every studio, and definitely take a look at these speakers if you're after something new in the mid-price range. For more information on these or to purchase them, please head to cosmic.com.au or please come in and see us at Osborne Park or Cannington.